Neuroplasticity is the process of the brain constantly changing and molding itself. It does this so that it is more efficient the next time you do something. Learning an instrument, learning a new skill, or anything you do, your brain is making connections and pathways so that it is better the next time you do it. Here's the point. Your brain is a different brain than it was yesterday. How does pornography affect an individual? I'm sure many of you have watched porn, or at the very least stumbled upon porn. Let's not kid ourselves here, most people do. According to a documentary called The Brain, Pornhub received over 28.5 billion views. To put that in perspective, for 1 second, that's 1,000 views. For 1 day, that is 78.1 million views. The pornography industry is $12 billion strong, and there are over 370 million porn websites. So yeah, there's a lot of porn out there. But have you ever considered just how addicting and damaging porn can be? Today we will go over just how porn can rewire your brain, how it can become addicting, and how people can find ways to help themselves. First, we will go over how porn can rewire your brain. From an article by Skinner, every time you watch porn, dopamine is released. It is responsible for feelings of excitement about getting something new or doing something that you love. It is a chemical that signifies happiness and enjoyment. Dopamine is also considered to be responsible for learned behaviors, but new research suggests that dopamine is involved with ongoing behaviors as well. We usually consider dopamine when talking about reward-based behavior, or when our actions depend upon the type of reward they promote. When a reward produces dopamine, we feel good, and thus we continue that behavior. So basically, everything that people seek is driven by the reward center. You can train your brain and grow that area of your brain so that it processes more stimuli in that area. So basically, you are rewiring your brain to seek out porn. The prefrontal cortex is another part of your brain that keeps the reward center at bay. Normally, this region of the brain is supposed to be able to weigh consequences in situations and shut down cravings. However, as a person watches more porn, the relationship between these two parts of the brain change. The reward center is now in the driving seat and is free to do whatever it wants. Secondly, we will talk about how it can be addicting. Just like in Hollywood, the images in porn hold power. They can alter our perception of body types, beauty, and what we even consider normal. Things that used to be exciting and stimulating are now darn boring. Porn offers an exaggerated version of real worlds. But then soon the brain will begin to prefer the exaggerated version over real world people. Real people, relationships, and activities will now become uninteresting. The internet has made it easy and efficient for people to view porn at home. In a documentary called The Brain, there were 3 young adults who said that their lives had become empty and boring after they started watching porn. They would be constantly thinking about it, and some would even watch porn 2 to 3 times a day for years. In an article by Sharp, he says that people who have porn have withdrawal symptoms that have headaches, insomnia, cravings, anxiety, depression, and shakings. Lastly, we will go over how people can find ways to help themselves recover from porn. As with any addiction, people who can acknowledge that they have a problem are already in the right direction. Just talking to people who suffer from the same thing as you helps. As mentioned before, your brain changes and molds to the needs you have. So this helps you stop going down your destructive behavior. A way to speed up the recovery is by replacing porn with another activity that also releases dopamine. Working out, having actual sex, or doing anything else that makes you excited. In conclusion, today I've spoken with you about how porn can affect a person and their brain, and how it can be addicting and how ways people can find help.
Thank you.